How's it going, everybody? Sir Douglas here with a brand new video, and today, upon sober review, your 19-time reigning and defending Grey Cup champions, the Toronto Argonauts, much like Wile E. Coyote, had a burning stick of dynamite dressed up as overtime, given to them by the Roadrunner, dressed in a Mario Alford Saskatchewan Roughriders jersey. That stick of dynamite exploded in our faces and handed us our third loss in a row. Saskatchewan 39, Toronto 32, the final score. Might have dated myself a little bit with the reference, but hey, you can go have a look on YouTube. Looney Tunes cartoons are on there if you want to give yourself some old school laughs. But as for this game itself, it was chippy, it was a penalty-filled affair, and quite frankly, you might have been better being stuck on the Gardner because this game was not good at all. Not, and I'm saying that just as not as an Argonaut fan who watched his team lose in a very soul draining fashion, but more was just it was just awful in general. It wasn't really a good game at all, but give me strength to not need the booze through this. So let's go check out what happened. Chad Kelly and Janarian Grant both still out, and we actually had pretty much a veritable all-star team that was hurt. You had Wynton McManus out, Davaris Daniels out, Dylan Giffen, DeMarcus Christmas, Deontay McMahon, Sage Dictator, Jack Kassar, Celestin Haba, all of them out. And out of all of that, DeMarcus Christmas was the only one who was 6-gamed, which is kind of surprising to me. Now, normally I don't go into the opposition depth chart for these kind of things, but I thought this was kind of funny. Kadeem Carey, you may remember him from last year. He was signed by the Riders on June the 9th. He played against Hamilton. Comes out in the media saying how much he was looking forward to playing against the Argos to prove them wrong and cutting him after training camp, wanting to prove that that was a mistake. And 24 hours before the game, he was transferred to the practice roster. You're not going to get that chance on this day anyway, Kadeem, are you? Might have been Corey Mason trying to send a message like, "Hey, chill out a little bit," because I mean they did pretty well with AJ. Just saying, but anyway, let's get on with onto the game itself now. First drive was a very good start for the Argonauts. 7 plays, 79 yards, clinical, and resulted in a touchdown, which is exactly what we wanted to see, and what we should be seeing out of the defending champions. Nick Arbuckle, perfect in passing. Only one run that resulted in no gain, but the QB and receivers, they were both in sync on this one. During the drive, though, 3 penalties. And that is pretty much going to set the tone for the game here. Ultimately, like I said, touchdown, extra point was good. Toronto with a 7-0 lead early in the first. Saskatchewan, however, got the ball right back and countered just as quickly. AJ Ouellette got the ball and he rumbled 25 yards for the touchdown. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time since becoming a Saskatchewan Roughrider AJ Ouellette has played at BMO Field. So I think this was something that he was really looking forward to. The extra point was good twice. First one negated by a holding call. Second one was good. So if you're keeping track, that's that's at least four penalties so far, and it's just gonna keep on going. Toronto's next drive, 2 and out. Mario Alford, remember that name because he got a good on Toronto's punt. He got a good return, and Saskatchewan, they made just as quick work in the next drive as well. So, took all of 2 plays to get the touchdown. So he found the same guy twice. One for a little 2-yard and one pretty deep for another touchdown. So the extra point was good after that. Saskatchewan 14-7 lead. And then there was another penalty for an illegal block on Toronto. So the yards are starting to rack up. Closing out the first quarter, Toronto's offense started sputtering like a diesel engine trying to start when it's minus 25 outside. Another 2 and out. Saskatchewan gets the ball back. On the return, though, another injury. Kenneth George Jr. was felled by an injury, and if you were taking a look at the injury reports recently, it doesn't look very good, and he was pretty much immediately 6-gamed. So after the game, it was revealed that he was 6-gamed. So hope to see a speedy recovery out of him. But more penalties, more penalties, including a roughing the passer that Jordan Williams thought, I think I'll hit him late. Why not? It's like, no, I can't do that, Sunshine. With the penalty, Saskatchewan got into the red zone, into Toronto's red zone for 2 plays, and that was pretty much how the first quarter ended. 14-7 Riders lead, and 65 yards in penalties in the first quarter alone. And there were still 3 more quarters to go. To start the second, the Riders' drive actually ended up stalling, but not after a DPI call against Benji Franklin, and more offsetting penalties. So this game was incredibly chippy, because like I said, the penalties just keep racking up here. All in all, in the end, it was a Riders field goal that widened the lead to 17-7. Argos once again still sputtering. Another 2 and out. Riders get the ball back, get a little bit of a drive going, but they stall out 6 plays, and that led to a punt. Argos got the ball back and decided to try to finally control it by putting in a few runs into the mix. Actually got a half decent drive going here, all the way down to the 1-yard line with the help of another offside call and another unnecessary roughness call. And when they got to the 1, Riders stiffened up. Argos couldn't break through. 3rd and goal from the 1. Instead of, I don't know, bringing in Jared Dagey just to, run a quarterback sneak, they go shotgun. Give it to Kevin Brown to try and put it into the end zone. Why are you going shotgun? I mean, Kevin Brown, yeah, I can understand, but why are you going shotgun with it? You know that they're going to, unless you're going to try something like maybe like a screen or something, maybe, but, It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, yeah, a turnover on downs right at the 1-yard line for Saskatchewan to take over. They forced a 2 and out. The Argos defense did. Good for them. The Riders punted. And the Argos' final possession of the half, one ball nearly intercepted. Obviously tried to get a touchdown, potentially a Hail Mary pass. No idea, but it was nearly intercepted regardless. And it actually led to, I believe, one of the longest field goals Liram Hairolahu has ever kicked in his career in the CFL. 56 yards. And it was good. So 17-10 in favor of the Riders at the half. Obviously, still everything to play for here. So let's get on. So the Argos obviously thought, well, let's go. Let's keep on going. So into the third quarter, Riders come out swinging. Only took 2 plays to get another touchdown. Extra point good. Widen the lead to 24-10. Next couple of drives, nothing going for either team. However, Saskatchewan did have a crappy punt, and Toronto actually got into instant field position, starting at the Saskatchewan 31-yard line. They get close, but not close enough. They get to the 12 and no further. And of course, there was more penalties in and amongst all of this too. So, yeah. And then we see the one thing that nobody's fallen for anymore, and that's the hard count. It's like, it may have worked once in the 4 seasons that Ryan Dinwiddie's been here. I think it's only worked once. No one's buying it. Stop. Like, if you're either going to go 3rd and goal and try and go for it, or just kick the field goal. Stop trying to play games with the other team, okay? So, anyway, in the end, Argos kick a field goal, and they close the gap to 24-13. Saskatchewan, as in Canadian football, you can on a field goal you can opt to take the ball from the 40-yard line if you're not within the final 3 minutes of the game, or final 3 minutes of a half. Sorry, And Saskatchewan takes it and immediately take a procedure call. They start to get Saskatchewan after that. They get another hold, basically incomplete pass, holding call. They get an 18-yard run to get close, but still ultimately hit. They're still going to have to punt anyway. Punt that went out of bounds. Now, another Canadian rule: if you kick the ball out of bounds and it's not inside the 15-yard line, it's going to be basically on the inside the 15s. If you kick a ball out of bounds, you'll get an illegal punt penalty. So that counts. Another penalty. You notice the theme here. Argos get the ball back. Run. I got to do a run. Got a rough in the passer call. Then we start seeing the questionable decision making from Nick Arbuckle. Had so much daylight to just leg it out and run it for a first down. Instead, he lobs a duck into the air looking for Dave Ungerer, and it's in double coverage, and of course it leads to an interception. Just as an aside, though, I'm beginning to think that maybe Coach Dinwiddie is, I think he's discouraging the quarterbacks from running based off of what happened to Chad Kelly last East Final. Huh. It's a possibility, something to think about. Anyway, one play later, so Saskatchewan gets the ball back. One play later, Tyshawn Blackburn, stand to be recognized, sir. Gets the ball back, tackled tackled right away by one of the offensive linemen. Decides to drill him while he's down. That is a penalty for piling on. So that's another 15 yards tacked onto that. So that and this is where one of the rule changes that came in this year, where if a major penalty occurs, there is no such thing as half distance to the goal line anymore. So for example, this was a big penalty. So Toronto would get the ball back, but it's not like and I think they were like inside the 15 at the time anyway. So basically what happens is you tack on the full distance of the penalty, and it goes so, as opposed to a half distance to the goal. If it was half distance to the goal, it would have been to like the 7 or 8 yard line. But because of this new rule change, Toronto gets the ball on the 1. Jared Dagey made no mistake this time. Touchdown, Toronto. 2-point, and he got a 2-point convert as well. And we now have a ball game. It's 24-21. Saskatchewan closed out the quarter with 3 runs. They started the fourth quarter with 3 runs, and with another 3. So. And now on the 5th run, so like I said, you had 3 runs to start or to end the third. So this is the second run in the sequence here. Anthony Lanier decided to get an unnecessary roughness call. Saskatchewan just runs the ball down our throat. Ultimately gets a touchdown. Extra points good. 31-21, and they took 8 minutes off the clock doing it. So they were wearing this. So the defense, you can tell they're starting to get worn out here. Argos get the ball back, and in perhaps the most inverted play calling, you could call it mirror universe play calling, the Argos just pass. So the Argos get fairly close, and unfortunately, 3 consecutive first downs, and then we see a sack that resulted in a fumble. However, Nick Arbuckle himself was able to immediately recover it. One final short pass, and it leads to another Liram Hajrullahu field goal. It is now 31-24. Still Saskatchewan in the league. They take the ball back from the 40, and now we start seeing the ref ball. As if the 200-plus yards of penalties weren't enough. First play, face mask by the Argos. 2 plays later, Saskatchewan called for holding. Tried to challenge looking for DPI. No, I'm sorry. You ain't going to get that. Upon sober review, ball was completely unplayable to begin with. Refs called that one correctly. Second and long, though, they were able to convert. After that, they just kept going. However, due to another holding call, the drive stalled. And they were able to and Saskatchewan was able to take 4 more minutes off the clock, leaving only 2 minutes left. Brad Lothar tried a 33-yard field goal attempt. He actually missed. Ball was unreturnable, however, so it was a single point. 32-24, Saskatchewan still leads. 2-minute drill time. So first play is Saskatchewan get nailed for roughing the passer. First down. Deep attempt then to looking for Tamonte Coxie. Hits the turf. And then they just pretty much just at that point, they just said, you know what, screw the long ball. We're just going to dink it and dunk it. And that's exactly what they did. They just dinked and dunked their way to a touchdown. 2-point convert was good, and we're tied at 32 points. Crowd is electric. 23 seconds left on the clock. We all thought, okay, we're going to overtime. Yay. Kickoff by Liramirallahu and Mario Alford decided to just completely crush my soul. I remember I was just sat on my seat for a solid 10 minutes at the end of the game, just staring out in the field. Because 90, you get Mario Alford. I know some people call him Super Mario. Well, in this case, he got the invincibility star. Ran it 99 yards for a touchdown. 39-32, the final score. Now, when I did watch that final touchdown, I didn't notice at the time because I was just all dead inside. But there was an illegal block. Refs missed it. Command center ignored it. We should have gone to OT. Straight up. The refs were stripes were flag happy all game long. Both teams racked up over 300 yards in penalties, and now it decides to stay in the pocket when it meant. And it was a potential game-breaking play. Now it stays in your pocket? No offense, but that's a fucking joke. Anyway, I'm going to do something a little different here because someone pointed out to me that Coach Dinwiddie's comments post-game were worth watching. So, the Argos themselves posted a video of it. Sadly, they made it private for probably some reason, but found out that another channel, Candid Frank Live, did post the video. So, you know what? Let's go have a gander.
Ryan, just on that last play, there obviously missed opportunity with you guys getting the time there. What went wrong on that play?
Oh, we didn't stay in our lanes. They had a blade blocking the back to it. They missed. I couldn't challenge that, right?
Okay, so I already mentioned that. Still bullshit no matter what.
Yeah, we had 11 guys on the field too, right? And
Wait. Hold the phone. You only had 11 guys on the field? Oh my fucking God. Really? 11 guys on the field, and you have what? A prolific returner in Mario Alford. A guy that we cut, by the way. Fuck my life, I swear to God.
specials I thought was pretty bad for the third week in a row. We got to get that fixed.
Obviously, with the way the game went, the Dick rallying there together, what's the message to the guys after a moment like that?
Well, I never really got after those guys. It's the first time I had to after the game. Pretty embarrassed by it. I thought it was selfish play, selfish penalties. They were chirping all game fine. We talked with our pads. We got involved in the chirping game, and it cost us. We had selfish penalties. That's the one thing I hate. It ain't about you. It's about the team. And we ain't even close to being there. We don't know how to not lose games. Not winning games, not losing games.
He's dead on with that. No arguments.
Coach, can you just talk, Phil, about the play in Brissett tonight?
What's that?
The play in Brissett tonight.
Brissett played well. I mean, we just got to find ways to get these guys balls. I feel like our playmakers, our receivers can go catch it, right? They hit 50-50 balls. Kevin made a great play on the first drive, right? On the offense battle. Defense, every time we got a score, we got it within the game, we give them an 80-yard touchdown drive, right? So we're not playing collectively.
Not wrong there.
On the positive note, in the third quarter, what did you think about when your team kind of recovered after giving up a pick, then they get a pick and put you on the 1 yard line after you got stopped on the 1 yard line earlier in the game?
Yeah, I thought we got beat up front. We got one of our guards at 280 pounds. I don't know what he did all offseason.
Now, That comment right there produced a little bit of controversy on Reddit and the Argo message boards, and on, of course, that cesspool that's Facebook. Because now people were looking to see, oh, who is he? Who's the mystery guy who's there? It's like, look, no offense. I mean, I get it. I understand why it could have been it could have been interpreted in bad form. But honestly, the O-line, they got bullied. An O-line that was bullying the last couple of seasons got bodied by Saskatchewan.
Right, and it just feel like, you get a little bit of momentum and all of a sudden you couldn't get a stop. Did it kind of feel like that on the sidelines for you guys?
Yeah, it was the whole game, right? As soon as we get a drive together, we're not playing all together. Defense got to step up too, right? And it wasn't anything crazy that they were doing, right? They didn't have it schemed up. They were just playing pitch and catch. And then the penalties. We had more penalty yards than our freaking offense, right? And they're all were selfish ones. So I told those guys, someone's going home tomorrow. Some heads are rolling. I ain't putting up with that stuff no more.
As of this recording, no one has been cut. Just for the record. As a matter of fact, they shored up the defensive line by signing Jamin Pelly. So, no one's gone yet, but I have a feeling that some people are on some very short leashes.
Is that the action to fix it, you feel?
I think that might open up some eyes, right? We got to come into work, right? These guys get paid. This is their job. They need to come here with some purpose. And it's all coaches as well, right? But no, it's not a good atmosphere right now. We'll get it fixed, and we're men and we're pros, and we get paid to do this. But I'm not happy right now.
You ain't the only one who's not happy about it.
You're talking a little bit about fight. What about the fight of Arbuckle? He was pretty dirty. And by dirty, I mean his uniform had a lot of grass on it.
Yeah, I think Nick did a good job using his legs. I mean, we had a 6-yard hitch, and we didn't have time to throw that. You know what I mean? So they beat us up front. Week 1 and week 3, I thought our O-line, got physically beat.
Coach, it sounds like it might be a moment to panic for you being 0-3 right now. How are you feeling? How are you going to fix the defeat that you're in now?
Oh, ain't no panic. We're just disappointed in our performance, right? And we got to find a way to get it fixed. We got a long week this week. We got an extra day. We'll find a way to get fixed. I think the guys know that potential's there, but potential don't mean squat. We got to go out there and prove it, right? We got to come together as a team. Last year's gone. Got a lot of new faces. Doesn't matter. No excuses. We had injuries. No excuses. We got to find a way to win that game, and that game is winnable, and we get to them too many yards.
100% correct there. 100% correct.
Defensively, what were they doing that made your offense struggle a little bit?
Nothing. We like the first sack. We ran that card. They're going to try to pick, right? Our tailback sits aside, and it's just like, guys, we carded this stuff. We went through these looks exactly how they do it, and then it doesn't translate on game day. Well, you know what I mean? Sometimes guys might have to lose their job. And the selfishness, right? I'd rather play with less talent. The guys that want to take care of each other.
All I gotta say is that they gotta get this attitude sorted out before Ottawa coming up on Sunday.
Coach, what are you seeing from Ryan Williams? What are you liking, and what you feel like where he can improve?
Yeah, I think he's got to be more patient. But he catches the ball in the backfield, the checkdowns. We thought we were going to be there. He did a good job with the checkdowns. Kind of lost that at the end of the game because he was trying to correct the O-line's missed blocks. He was trying to chip, make sure we get the ball out of our hands, right? So we have a veteran O-line, right? It doesn't look like it right now. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, well, you can tell how angry Coach was. His comments tell him where he's telling lies. Literally saying what every single one of us is seeing out there. First 2 weeks were, of course, this was a team thing. Everyone's taking responsibility, taking a responsibility and accountability for the losses. And that's perfectly fine. But now we're into week 3, and he's got to point out the problems and say basically telling them, hey, we got to get better. This is how coaches do. One last thing I got to say about this is that this could spiral out of control really, really fast. We're approaching the first quarter, the 3-quarter pole of the season, so the first post of the season here, and this is an unfamiliar position for Ryan Dinwiddie. He's not used to losing streaks like this. And they got to get this sorted out, because if they don't, by the bye week, which is coming up in a couple weeks, they could be staring 0-5. They could be staring at 0-5 in the face very, very easily, and this could not end. If you're trying to make the playoffs, 0-5 to start the season is a very deep hole to try and dig out of. But for now, at least, knock knock. Who's there? Owen? Owen who? 0-3. That's going to do it for me for this week. Make sure you like and subscribe. And sorry this took me so long to get out there, but sometimes there's just a lot to look at, you know. And I'll talk to you again after the game this coming Sunday against Ottawa. Talk to you again soon. Cheers, everybody.